did some really nice things with the football and some of the kind of the vertical shots he was able to take and some of the intermediate things he was really able to kind of rip in there. Did a good job of dumping it to the back. I mean, we ended up, I think, 5 times. He was able to go through the progression and get the ball to the back and put us in a good position that way. The 2 interceptions were both costly and both kind of how we reference them, bad interceptions. Decision-wise, they weren't what he'd been kind of doing and everything. It was kind of a step backwards that way, so we got to learn from that and be better this week doing that. Both of those are ones that we shouldn't have happen and everything, and we've done a really good job of not doing that for a while and protecting the ball, and we got to get back to that.
Do you have a specific plan with like Maverick and Allen, or you just kind of let them wait this out to the offseason, let Jet start that last game, or is it still kind of up in the air for a starter decided Saturday? What's kind of your game plan with them without giving too much away?
Oh no, Jet will start and everything, and really they're in the kind of just in a position if needed, in that way is where they're kind of at. Mav's done a good job in getting reps in practice, progressing, but still probably not where you'd like them. I mean, getting ready to play a football game and everything, I don't know if it'd be the fairest thing to stick him out there and to see how it goes type thing. Missing that time was that way, and then with Allen and everything, he's got 3. He's got one more game you could use and still use a red shirt, but there's also all the other NCAA things where it's a season-end injury. Do you need it on the other end at another time? So what we talked about with him the whole time was if we needed to go win a football game, he would be available, and he's been going through all kind of the mental preparation in that way in case that does arise.
When you come up with an offensive game plan for the week, how much of it does Matt, Coach Wells have kind of an input on, and do you increase it maybe a little bit when he has been with a defensive coordinator that you're about to face?
Well, he's talked a little bit about Coach Orlando and everything, and kind of some of the philosophies and different things when he was at Utah State and that. There's some similarities to what they did at Utah State when I got there defensively to what you see in some of their stuff, and they've expanded it. He's done a great job of kind of making it very multiple. I mean, amount of fronts, the pressures, and all that. But no, he sits. Coach Wells normally just sits in a lot of our game planning sessions. We had a long one last night. Kind of that was our big kind of game plan meeting. He sits in there and he'll give, his insights, input, and it's kind of like, you always listen a little more attentively when it's the head coach, but no, he's real good about, hey, kind of throwing in his input, and we kind of take everybody's and we kind of come up with what we think is the best way to kind of attack them, what we do the best, what Jet is most efficient at, what he's best at, and what our guys can go out and make the best plays on.
When you watch the tape of Saturday, did something change from that first half to the second half, outside of obviously gaining more yards and scoring more?
No, they played us the exact way we thought they would coming in. We were able to get a little bit of run game going in the second half, and I think that helped. And then we were able to kind of make the plays when we needed to. That first drive we kind of hurt ourselves, getting a penalty on the first play, puts us behind, and then we're not able to kind of execute on the third down situation and a really good look, man coverage, and we thought we had a shot at that vertical shot to Mannix. The second drive, same thing, we get ourselves in kind of a third and manageable situation and really just don't execute the play the way you kind of hope to in a man look. Had a couple shots to be able to take right there, and we didn't take that. And then from then on, we basically got first downs and moved it. The second half, we were able to kind of make the next play that we needed to. We looked at it at the end, and there were probably 6 legitimate opportunities to really make plays or have a really big play that we weren't able to come up with, and that's probably the difference in the game when it's all said and done. That and turnovers really is what probably kept us from being able to accomplish our goal.
Do you have to adjust the game plan a lot when you was a running back, 20 minutes before?
Really, Sarajic did an unbelievable job. He took every rep in the game, didn't look tired on any of those drives, and we had a few drives that were extended. When he ran it in on the touchdown, he looked as fresh on that play as he had throughout that whole drive. But no, we kind of game planned for him and Tay in that way, and then when Tay went down, it was like, okay, Sarajic's going to go, and we had a plan. Jax was kind of ready to go if needed, but Sarajic was not going to really come off the football field, and he actually tried to go in on punt at the end of the game. He's a backup, and another guy needed to come out, and he was trying to go in on punt, and we didn't let him because we said, well, I think the 82 reps you've taken and the 28 touches you're going to end up with is enough work.
The end of the season is on Friday after the game, with the early signing days coming up afterwards. Without talking about a specific recruit, what are some of the big positions that you're looking to get out of this class? Well,
really, there's not any position we're not recruiting in this class on the offensive side. But offensive line is always a big one with the numbers of guys we're graduating. With only signing 2 last year, that's a kind of a big situation for us. We'd like to come away with like 4 guys when it's all said and done. If that takes us to February, it takes us to February. But you want to get 4 at that position. Our tight end position is a position we're working on kind of restocking and everything. We did it last year getting Travis and Simon. We're going to lose DT now, so we want to kind of continue to build that one up. Running back is a spot. We missed on our guy last year at the end when he didn't end up not qualifying, so that's a spot we got to make sure we fill that. We're always going to take one quarterback in that way, and then receiver I think will end up being just with the age of our guys and how it's going to kind of shake out over the next couple of years. That'll probably end up being a bigger position than maybe a lot of people would have thought coming in because we have a lot of our guys back, but it's going to be a pretty big spot when it's all said and done. It looks that way.
How does the pitch work when you're talking to these guys to come help build the program here, when a lot of things are being on the field except it's not showing up on the scoreboard?
Well, I think it's so much of recruiting is really the relationship you build with the recruit. I think that's has a bigger factor than in how big your stadium is, how shiny the helmets are, how the wins and losses. It definitely helps when you're winning. There's no question about that. But it's really the relationship and that they want to come play for you, that they see a vision that they can kind of reach their goals and what they want to get done and everything. So it's really the personal side is what I think normally recruiting kind of comes down to so much of the time. And our coaches have worked tirelessly since we've gotten here on especially this class because we were behind in the last one. Thought we did a nice job finishing that up, but we've been able to be on these guys all the way since last really January, and then we'll just be on the 2021 here really quick. So it's a constant moving picture.
Back looking at Texas again, what would you say the strength of their defense is? Where was their bread and butter that they want you to kind of attack that they know they've got you?
Well, the spot that's probably stayed the healthiest for them all year is our D-line. Those 3 guys that start up front there, I think one guy's missed one. Roach has missed 1 game this year. Other than that, those guys have been up there game in and game out, and they play a lot of snaps. There's not a large rotation among those guys, and they've been really stout up front for being in that way. They've had a lot of injuries in their secondary. When you go through their starters by game, it looks like fire drill, different thing that way. The 2 safeties have played really well. The ones kind of had to move from nickel to safety a little bit back and forth, I think just by the injuries that happened. But and they've had multiple guys miss 3 or 4 games, but it seems like a lot of them are back now. So I think they're kind of getting back to what kind of the defense they probably thought they would have at the beginning of the season a little bit personnel-wise. So that'll be good. Good challenge for us in that way. But the D-line and those 2 safeties are probably the 2 guys that you've seen on the field. Those 5 guys have been on the field so much this year. You kind of think they've played. They have a really strong. The D-line, they're big guys that can move and they make some plays down the field, chasing guys down.